I'm going to run this one by you, John. You look at the NHL, we're talking about the business side of sports, and there's a big push right now by two separate groups wanting Atlanta to get back into the NHL. And one of them is a former NHL player. But there's two different groups that are trying to get Atlanta back. Now, what they had, John, they had the Flames. They went up to Calgary, and they were there from 72 to 80. But they also had the Thrashers from 99 to 2011. And they're gone as well. They went up to Winnipeg. So if you were the commissioner of the NHL and you wanted to expand, and I think that's a great idea. By the way, the fee is $1 billion, so it's pretty interesting. I didn't realize hockey was at that level at this point in time, but apparently it is. There's an Arizona team that's got an absolute terrible facility. They play in a college facility, John. It's under 5,000 seats and the whole thing, the Arizona Coyotes. That's interesting to me that they've never really addressed this the right way. If you were the commissioner, do you think you'd want to go back to a place like Atlanta where you've already had two, call it failures, and give them a shot again? Because obviously there's a lot of dynamics that have changed in Atlanta over the last decade, let's say. So there's a heck of a lot of people there. There's no doubt about that. And there's some arenas that they could build they could be using some of the older arenas while they build it. Do you think that's the best landing spot? I'll give you one that I would at least throw out there as competition. How about Houston? Houston can support just about anything. I mean, you've got the NFL, you've got obviously NBA. There's a lot of different sports that are in certain cities for the right reasons. And I think Houston, for me anyway, I think they would be above Atlanta. But what do you think? I mean, this is the business of sports on this question.
Yeah, I would say, Pete, the reason that he's probably looking at Atlanta is the growth of that city. And a lot of that growth, of course, coming from the north and northeast. Not all, but a lot of it. And where are there a lot of hockey fans? Northeast. Yeah. You know, you look at New York supporting two teams, the Islanders and the Rangers. And the Devils, let's say. So I guess that's three teams. You look at Boston up there. I think a lot of those folks, for tax reasons or other, have moved to Atlanta, among other places. Obviously, Miami, and we all know that. But I think you've got something when you say Houston as well, Pete, but not because of the migration of as many people there from the Northeast and so forth. Atlanta would be a bet on, okay, we've seen a lot of hockey fans that are probably hungry for it, just like Tampa with you, Pete, down in Florida. The Tampa hockey is hot. And why? Because a lot of Midwestern folks moved down to Tampa. I think Atlanta could benefit from that, Pete. I'm not against you with Houston because it's one of the top demographic areas in the whole country in terms of growth. So I think either of those would work. And by the way, if you can't get a better arena or a better situation going in Arizona, I think you could do both. Move one to Atlanta and and give a new franchise granted to Houston, one or the other or both.